of having a coffee break on Facebook on Tuesday in English and on Instagram in Spanish for people um, to ask questions that they may have, or just comment what are the things that are challenging at home. I know that there's many positive things of being at home with young children, but there's also challenging moments. And even though I can highlight all the positive things of being with children, I think because of my experience working in early childhood education, I really want to support parents now that they are at home with their children. So we're gonna wait a few minutes and see if we have more parents who have questions right now. Um, but I want to tell you a little bit about some questions that I've had with parents during the week. And I try to see what are the things that parents are asking more about. And what I've found is that um, dealing with children's emotions at this time I think it's something that is challenging for us, whether we are in quarantine or not. But now that we're all in the same space and we don't have that chance of just going out and changing where we are, it's getting a little challenging for parents, and we're feeling it too. I think that's the big part of it. We're feeling all of these emotions, and children are too, and they are reflecting those emotions in us. So it's like an emotional explosion that we're having at home. So one mom that I was that I had the opportunity to talk with her this week, she was telling me that every time that she logged on to a live event, like a Zoom call or something that the school was coordinating, her child was having very, very big emotions. So she will look at the screen, she will hear what the teachers were saying, and she will like bang the computer and say, like, I don't miss school, like I don't want to do this. And she was concerned because her child was saying, um, I don't like school. And this was a child who um, had a very slow transition into preschool. So we talked with this parent how all the knowledge and learning that they did at school is not gonna get lost when we are in quarantine. They might not be able to practice all the skills as often as we would like. And if there's a skill that our kids need, my son is saying hi through the window. um, I'm sure that there will be many opportunities to practice it. Um, but she was saying, I don't miss school, and she was like, how do I respond to that? I know that she misses school, and what I told her is, you can say it's okay not to miss school right now. I'm happy at home too. Like, I enjoy some things that we do together, and sort of validate that feeling. And when we're dealing with emotions, I think acceptance is one of the most important things we can do. Um, and is accept the emotion that the child has. Um, we might want to narrate a little bit, like, what is causing that emotion, and label that emotion without making it really big. Because sometimes we say, oh, you're feeling sad because you're not seeing your friends. And I think we're trying to be empathetic, but we're also like tuning into their emotion. And what we want to do is try to figure out how we can get them to feel our calm at that moment, or our sad, even though we have all of these feelings inside. Um, so you can say, yeah, you miss your friends. I get it. I miss my friends too. And it's a way to be more empathetic without hyper the emotion. And then my advice is let children ride the wave. So emotions have like a peak and they fade away. They are like waves in the ocean. So when a big emotion arises, you can feel it like going really high, and you feel like, oh, this is never gonna stop. It's going up. And then that emotion kind of fades down. So when you're in the peak, I think we have to let it out in appropriate ways, in safe ways in which children can express that emotion. And I think it has something to do with how do we label emotions. We have emotions that are okay to be very like to have a burst of it, like being happy or joy, happiness, joy, all of those emotions. We are like, we love it when they're at their peak. But when there's these, what we call negative emotions, which is anger or sadness or all of these things that we don't like to feel as much because they don't feel good, we tend to block them or change them. So it's how do we create that space for the emotion to be, and then give children strategies to move on. So it's sort of for this girl who was feeling sad about the meeting, is like, I get it. I feel sad. It's okay to feel sad, but then you don't want to perpetuate it. So you can ask, like, what will make you feel better? Oops, something fell on my office. What will make you feel better? Do you want to get a drink of water, or do you want to do something together? Do you want to write a note to your friends, depending on the age that they have? And I think the younger the child, if they tend to be more towards toddlerhood, like 18 months or 2 months, where there's a lot of emotions, I think for that, you have to let it out and then calmly like help them move out of the emotion. Sometimes like just moving to a different place helps children sort of calm down, or it allows them to get it out. So um, that is my recommendation for big emotions. The other thing that other parents were talking about is how do we foster independence in our young children, which tend to be very dependent. So I think there are a couple of things that we can do that they know how to do in preschool, for example. They have had experience if they're like on the older spectrum of preschool, like 3 to 5. If you don't want to serve water all day for them, or like leave their water bottle in one place in the kitchen. So that's gonna help them know that if they're thirsty, or if they ask you, Mom, can I have water? Oh, do you remember where we left with your water bottle? So that's one thing that is gonna make them more independent in at home. And it's gonna allow you like maybe some time to concentrate on something else, so you don't have to move away from where you're going, but they know where they are and they know that they can get it. The third question that I got was about children who are only child, like they are the only child in the family, and I have one at home. I only have one. And I think a lot of parents are really concerned with the socialization, because they feel with larger farmer families like they will get more experience because they're dealing with siblings and all of these things. And yes, that's a blessing because they're practicing. But I think there are many things that you, as the parent of an only child, can do, not to spoil your child, or not to make them lose their social abilities. So, for example, one example is we do movie night every Friday, and Lucas is the only child in our family, so he could pick the movie every time. But what we do is we take turns. So we say, okay, like who picked last time, and me, my husband, and my son, we take turns on who picks the movie. And sometimes he doesn't like it, and we say, okay, like we're gonna watch the movie, so it will be great if you watch it with us, but you don't have to. I mean, you can go to your room, and that's okay. Like we need to allow for those spaces, and we can't expect to do everything together all the time. But I think that's a way to set a limit, give them practice, but at the same time, um, you are fostering, like, we want to do this together, but if you don't want to watch it, it's okay. You can bring your toy and play with it, and they maybe will eyeball something new that they didn't know about, and they will discover something new, and they'll like jump in and watch the movie with you. Sometimes you have to keep with, there's a great article, I'm going to post it in my Facebook page this week, that is called Confident Momentum by Janet Lansbury. And she has this article that talks about the importance of have that confidence in you to move out of the situation. And that sort of pulls children right behind you, instead of you waiting for them to be ready or to have that first cue of, okay, I'm ready to move on. So that's another thing that I think might be important for parents that I'm going to share. I want to make these live videos a little short, because we have so many things that we're watching. I don't want them to be super long. So I just want, before I go, I want to tell you about a workshop that I'm offering this weekend. It's called Creativity at Home. And these are strategies for parents of children 0 to 5. And it's not about what activities you can do at home, but it's more about how we can be creative at home, not necessarily with activities, but with the way that we interact with children, the way that we talk to children, the way that we can model creativity for children without needing to buy arts and crafts, or cooking or baking, or sometimes like those everyday moments, how our language can change a little bit. The way that we interact, that will affect how our relationships are at home. So I'm not only giving the what piece, but I'm giving more of the how and the pacing of it that teachers use, that can be used at home. I don't think parents need to become teachers right now, but I believe there are tools that we as teachers use that parents can use at home that will make their lives easier. So the workshops are at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday and Sunday. This weekend I'm doing the English Creativity at Home on Saturday, and the Spanish version on Sunday at 10. So if you want to sign up, you can go to my page, my Facebook page, my Instagram, Empower Kids for Life, and you can access it there. I'm offering a lot of free resources for parents daily, so please make sure to check them out. And if you need help, just send me an email or a text or a message, and I'll be happy to answer it. And I'm also collecting more topics that will be interesting for parents at this moment. So I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. And I hope that you enjoy it, and then you invite other parents to join us Tuesdays at 5. I'm trying to think about the time. So if you're watching this live video and it's late, and you didn't catch it, and you think 6 p.m. will be a better time, I would love for you to leave a comment. I'm trying to figure out if 5 p.m. Pacific time or 6 it's better for people. So let me know. Have a good night. Bye.